All righty. All right, welcome back. It's a funny Friday. It's super fun for me today because it's my birthday. And one of my best buddies in the whole world, Frank Morano, host of The Other Side of Midnight on the everyday growing 77 WABC radio here in New York. Frank's on every night from 1 to 5. And he got a whole bunch of my friends and colleagues to shoot in recorded messages, but the ones that really love me, they come in live, like my next guest right here, my buddy Johnny McDonough joins me right now. We duke it out from time to time on Frankie's show, and we do the John versus John. But he's up there. He is. He's up in Massachusetts, but he's cracking up a cold one with me. John McDonough joins us right now. Veteran New York City taxi cab rider, driver. He's a writer. He's a host of a show on WBAI. The guy's all over the place. Johnny Mac, here's to you. Thank you for taking
and here's to you
for my birthday. Appreciate it.
As they call us in Ireland, the devil's buttermilk. Guinness.
Get on that teeth, my man.
Yeah.
So what's happening, brother?
Well, John, we had you on our show on WBAI, and if the audience across the country, it's a Pacifica left-wing station. But since the pandemic started, we've been covering the closing of bars around the city, generally Irish bars. And one in particular was Coogan's up in Washington Heights, very famous bar. And the owner of the bar had raised their rents. And Jim Dwyer, who was a New York Times columnist who died recently, wrote a column that this was ridiculous, that they were doing this. So the campaign between BAI and the Times, they lowered the rent. But then the pandemic hit and they closed. And then we went and covered Foley's on 33rd Street, which is a famous Irish bar, sports bar that you would hit before you go to the Garden to have a drink there. And they closed. So everybody was, oh, this is great. You're covering that. So now Mac's Bar is coming to the forefront that they don't want to close and they're fighting. And I figure who else to go to but Johnny Tobacco. I'm certainly not going to go to Pete Davidson to find out what's happening at Mac's. If I want to find out what Cuomo and de Blasio are doing, then I'll go to Pete Davidson to find out how they're shutting down bars. So when you came on the show, I was getting text messages, emails. How can you let this guy on? The people out there are nothing but Irish and Italian racist and stuff. And there was another incident, and it was like your daughter. I was going by my daughter, and she goes to me, why are you backing that right-wing bar in Staten Island? I said, we're backing a business. This is just a bar. Most bars are not political. You don't see posters. You see sports when you go into it. But people were making the decision that Coogan's Uptown was good because Lin-Manuel Miranda hangs out there with his father, and Jim Dwyer, the New York Times, and you go to Staten Island, that's a neighborhood bar, and neighborhood people are protesting. So we shouldn't cover that bar. That bar should close, but Coogan should stay open. And I just thought the whole difference by having you on instead of the New York Times reporter, that you were in the forefront. You're doing all the publicity, and they're saying, well, you still shouldn't have them on. This is ridiculous.
Well, number one, I hope this gives you a little more enlightenment into the dementia of many who are left of you. I know your views and mine don't always match up, but we're good people and we respect each other's opinions. And that's why I have you on my show and you have me on your show because, you know, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just kind of trying to stick up for what I think is right. And that's what I know you do. And when we don't agree, no matter what, we crack open a cold one and then we agree on that. So we always have a little common ground, you know. But Johnny Mac, I got to tell you, it's the weirdest thing because they keep talking about the science, right? Follow the science. And Cuomo's team, I call him, Don Cuomo Leone, the mob boss of New York State. He's come out with his new science team. They put out this report that 74% of the spread in New York State comes back to the household, right? So you would think, all right, well, if 74% of the spread is in the household, let's keep people out of their households, right? But instead, they want to shack us back in the house and throw away the key. And then in their own report, Johnny, 1.4% of the spread is in bars and restaurants. So me being a math wonk, I want to live at the bar and restaurant because I only have a 1% chance of getting it.
John, I'm comparing this to a World War II. where they had the Baton Death March in the Philippines. We now have the Cuomo Death March here in New York. And Cuomo did the same thing with the nursing homes. Let's take people who had the disease and put them in the nursing homes. So now he wants the rest of us who are left on the Cuomo Death March to be put back in the home so he can kill us. He's now parading around, hawking a book about his leadership. I believe that should fall under the Son of Sam laws, that anybody died in the nursing home should be given the profits of that bar. I mean, Kim Jong-un in North Korea is blushing at Cuomo. Cuomo is named a bridge after his father. He's talking about naming the Midtown Tunnel, the Matilda Midtown Tunnel after his mother. And he's going to call CNN, the Cuomo News Network, and appoint Fredo to be the head of it, to run it.
Wow.
I mean, the way he runs the city, he's running it no different than in North Korea.
I thought that CNN was the Clinton News Network, but
oh no, it's the Cuomo News
it's
Network.
the Cuomo News Network. I don't disagree with you. And you know, Fredo has been as guilty as anyone of going out there and lecturing us on television about how bad we are if we don't wear masks and we don't social distance. And time again, we see this guy working out in a gym. We see him out in a restaurant threatening people who call him Fredo. So it's like, I'm being a little bit of a wise guy, but they act like mob bosses. You know what I mean? It's like the iron hand, the iron fist. And if some suckers in the neighborhood bar got behind on their bookmaker money, they send leg breakers down here. They don't send the mob bosses. And Cuomo Leone here, he's got the sheriffs. They deputized all these sheriffs who usually impound cars for tickets. And they got them coming down like literally a Gestapo squad.
Yeah, but how come Fredo can broadcast from his home, but yet you can't broadcast from Max?
Well, no, that
pressure on you. I mean,
the only thing you got wrong there is I'm broadcasting from Max, and as far as I'm concerned, there ain't nothing they could do about it. So we're wrapping ourselves in First Amendment. I just actually sublet the place on Sundays to a church. So now we're a house of worship also.
Well, I hope you're not going to get like Reverend Al Sharpton. We're going to be calling you Reverend Johnny T with his
maybe. I'm going to get up there on every Sunday and talk about God's economy. These evil capitalism, these greedy sons of nothing. I don't know. I'm working on my Joel Osteen bit, but I'm really just trying to stick up for freedom, brother. Thank you so much. I got to leave it there, Johnny. I'm happy to come on BAI anytime you want.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
When you get back downstate, you got to come do off the meter for our audience here.
I will do my one-man play about driving a yellow cab for 40 years here in the city.
No doubt about it. All right, Johnny McDonough, my man. You can catch us both on the other side of midnight on 77 WABC Radio with Frank Morano. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your kindness.
Happy birthday. A salute.
A salute to you. Quick break. Coming back with more Liquid Lunch to kick off hour 2 right after this.